All right, so right side versus left side. Person who puts the hand on first determines inside or outside. Let's just say George puts his hand on first and then I'm in the outside position. Now, I'm okay with this. I like the outside, George likes the inside. Now, as opposed to starting right with that sleeve, I want to create a good strong pose. This 50-50 is not so good for me, right? This is sort of an even position. I want to close the distance, but he's stiff arming me out. What to do from here, right? That's very important to be able to do this. So, when we're on the inside position, I could use both my arms by turning my wrist here and bending into that elbow and punching this to bend this arm. I'm using both of my arms, right, against the force of his arm here, right? He's pushing, the elbow bends inwards this way. So I'm bringing this elbow in, right, and bending my opponent's elbow to close this distance and then bring that post. Opposite side, I don't really have that luxury. Yes, can I bring this elbow over and then bend this arm? I can, but it might be very difficult. That arm versus arm situation is always a very difficult thing to be able to do. I also don't want to try to punch this elbow in this direction because if he has access to my sleeve here, right? And now, if I'm unsuccessful, he might be able to go for a big turn throw here, right? And I'm sort of taking myself out of position. So as he grabs this hand on this lapel, I'm going to reach through and grab double hand on this lapel here. Okay, so now I have two hands here, and then from here I'm going to bring my elbow over to bend my opponent's elbow here, and then I'm going to use both hands to pull him in here. Okay, and now it seems very forceful, and I'm trying to use a lot of my strength here, but that's okay because two hands versus one. Right? Two hands versus one is almost always good, right? Unless George is, 3 times as strong as I am, then it might be a difficult thing to do, right? But here, fighting for this position, I'm going to grab this lapel and I'm going to bring this elbow in and I'm going to pull him really tight in here, bending the elbow, and now I could go over the back here, okay? Outside position, if I fight outside position, going over and around the arm is generally a good thing. Notice the position of his arm is going to be very difficult for him now to push me away and put me in a stiff arm position because the arm is already compromised and the range of motion that he is in is not very good. Okay, so now we fight for the sleeve here. However, we go lapel, catch the sleeve from the outside, or as you come for the sleeve, I rotate and go to the inside. Either of those things are good, and now I have a nice Uchimata position where I can elevate, tip my opponent over, or whatever technique that you want to do, right? The goal of this video is to beat through the stiff arming position. So that would be sort of a simple method number 2 in the outside position in a right versus left setting.